Hi, I'm Mary.
Hi, I'm Wangari.
Wangari, do you remember the story of the Githeri man in 2017?
Yeah.
While on the queue to vote, he was holding a bag of boiled maize and beans, known in his mother tongue as Githeri. Kenyans found this so funny that they turned his photo into a meme that spread over social media. In the nick of time, he became such a household sensation that he was conferred the coveted Presidential Award for people of proven contribution to the country and society in general.
Yeah. I remember Githeri man. This is a joke depicting a financially poor man who stood under the bruising hot sun for hours on the queue to vote. This simple-hearted humor illustrates the simple, ordinary Kenyan or African who will endure adversity until they achieve a goal. Through the mirror of recognition of ourselves as the electorate, this self-enhancing humor brought comic relief to the then tense political scene in Kenya. Truly, he overcame hunger, poverty, and harsh weather, in addition to lining up on behalf of his mother, who was ailing.
The Githeri man was not trying to attract attention. He was just hungry. Some people thought that his eating Githeri out of a plastic paper bag was comical. He even made others all far and wide happy. Even the photographer who took the picture did not realize how Kenyans on Twitter, popularly known as KOT, would react. That photo, posted online, eased the stress of many voters who had to contend with queuing for a long time under harsh conditions in the blazing sun, hungry and thirsty for a cause they did not think would be helpful in their immediate life.
The man, now nicknamed Githeri man, benefited from the publicity he got. It seemed that the elevation of his social class was a great example of serendipity, just from acting naively and untypically. These people thought he was being funny, eating Githeri from a plastic bag. From the overwhelming goodwill of the public, he got himself into a drug rehabilitation, which was a miracle for him. Githeri man is real comic content that makes one chuckle, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Today, we will illustrate how humor can be used for resilience. The skill of humor lends itself to managing one's mental health quite well. I invite you to think for a moment what you think is funny. How do you use humor? Justina Siokao turned tragedy into what most Kenyans recognize as a signature katitu beat for the opportunity of humor and edutainment. Edutainment meaning education and entertainment.
Justina Siokao. So hilarious. Speaking of resilience, what is it? I will illustrate it with this band, which when stretched, then released, bounces back to its original position. Resilience helps us overcome misfortune and deal with overwhelming situations. We are often brought down by life. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 4 people worldwide suffer depression and other mental health challenges. We can find a way to overcome and keep going. Imagine looking for your hidden potential of resilience as if it's a glowing object in a dark room. You know it's there, but we'll only need to find it. When you finally find it, you are alive to the fact that that will help you get out of the dark room. Humor for resilience is great, particularly for adults, to develop a childlike playfulness. Growing up is overrated, and being an adult, also called adulting, is hard, especially with heavy adult burdens and responsibilities. We need to be light and jocular, although not minimizing catastrophic or distasteful events in our lives. Lightness could create just the right atmosphere to deal with our problems. Life is like a rose with both flowers and thorns. Sometimes we all need to stop and smell the roses before the bills come.
When the bills finally come, all your friends are getting married and having kids, yet you still have no idea what taxes are. What if you could use humor to truly shift to positive perspectives, therefore drive away stress and release tension? Humor is therapeutic. We use it effectively to drive away tension and build stress resistance. Wangari, could you tell us about Gumaiwa?
Anyone may judge my friend Gumaiwa, a young man living with bipolar, as being too serious for life. Yet he confessed to me that he is a closet humorist, which means that he enjoys fun and laughter in private. He once told me about the stares of people along the streets. He does whatever it takes to combat stigma. Being a night person who takes medication for his manic depressive episodes, he will do whatever it takes to combat stigma from the stares of people along the streets, some of whom have experienced him experiencing meltdowns in public.
His resilience in getting out of bed is amazing. He says he has alarms set on 2 devices, one set at a 15-minute interval and another set at a 5-minute interval, set slightly ahead. While his phone is at arm's length next to his bed, he will often snooze it, while the other alarm is farther away. Therefore, he'll get out of bed to switch it off. And voila, he's now awake. By the time he's done getting out of bed, he's now fully awake and cannot go back to sleep. He now focuses on going about his day, being an adult as a creative by profession.
I have another friend called Wilson, who is an avid fan of listening to TED Talks. He is visually impaired. Although he is legally blind, he tells me that his fellow advocates, popularly known as his learned friends, enjoy a seafood diet, meaning they eat anything they see. He once narrated to me the challenges of commuting. In Africa, the public transport is menacing. Here in Kenya, we enjoy matatu madness and a blossoming Nganya culture. He once told me, I'm allowed to walk around hitting and kicking everything in my way, so long as I do not kick the buckets. Humor can help people with disabilities like Wilson to navigate the challenges and the societal barriers to disability. Have you ever wondered what our natural painkillers are? Endorphins, the feel-good hormones.
Absolutely. Human beings and the human brain are indeed fascinating. A brain injury alone can lead to moody highs and lows, thus affect a person's health. Take the horrific incident of a soldier I know who was involved in an accident and was rushed to the hospital and needed urgent surgery on his head and face. The surgery was successful, but it left scars for potentially the rest of his life. He was not only injured, but also stressed about it. This meant the loss of his job. His family abandoned him owing to his constant frustrations and worsening behavior. The military soldier provided relief with his wit, with impish actions that pointed to the absurd things that needed to change. I would like this head cut off and replaced with another. People would ask him, how would you survive if your head was cut off?
I don't care. All I know is that this head is the current source of my problems. Although such humor is admittedly dark, by joking about his head injury and the resultant psychological trauma, the brave soldier was able to recognize it and march on with life.
The same advantages of humor are enjoyed by people with chronic illness like cancer. This is because of the seriousness of the situation that they and their loved ones are dealing with. Imagine what daily immersion in a sobering, serious attitude does to the quality of your life. It is stifling and robs you of the opportunities for joy that a more upbeat, positive attitude brings. I once read the story of a woman who suffered from breast cancer, who had recognized the emotional trap that cancer had led her into. She had had a double mastectomy replaced by 2 prosthetic breasts. One morning, 3 weeks after her surgery, she walked to her front door to pick up her newspaper delivery. As she bent down, one of her breasts popped out. And the family dog, thinking that it was a toy, grabbed it and was running around the yard with it in his mouth. She ran after the dog, shouting, "Bring back my breast! You come back here with my breast!"
When she realized what she was saying, she looked around to see if anyone was there and had heard her. To her relief, phew, no one else was up. But when she thought about what she was saying and thought about what the neighbors would have thought had they heard her, she started laughing and couldn't stop. When she finally stopped laughing, she realized that that was what had been missing from her life. She could not remember laughing ever since her diagnosis of cancer. And she was determined to never let another day go by without adding some laughter in her life. In various adverse situations, humor makes it possible to cope resiliently in seemingly impossible situations.
Indeed, you're never too old to learn to use humor. Remember, a good sense of humor prevents hardening of the attitudes. We prescribe that all of us live with a positive attitude. That means shifting our perspectives from negative to positive through a pinch of humor and a dose of optimism. Together, humor and optimism build resilience.
Although life can be dreary and difficult sometimes, the most resilient characters in the story of life use their sense of humor to buoy or cushion their spirits, remain optimistic amidst hardships, and even challenge inequitable social conditions. Humor for resilience is not as frivolous or nonsensical as it may sometimes seem. It can be a positive coping mechanism to help one deal with difficult environments, stressful events, and unjust situations. The amuse system is a regular dose of healing and a survival skill for resilience.
Yes, take it from a fellow traveler on the path of building a healthy and happy Africa. Yes, there are challenges and obstacles along the way, but they aren't insurmountable. They provide us opportunities to grow personally. Truly, the journey is the reward.